All right. Damn, that's loud. Welcome back to another podcast of Barrel Full of Daryl. You know the story, music, movies, blah, blah, blah. And today, I have a special guest. My stepson Ian is with us today. So we're going to have a bit of a small panel discussion. Small in that it's only me and him. Sitting in his backyard in Colorado. Lovely day, just a little bit of rain right now, but the tree is protecting us. So today, Ian and I are going to discuss his favorite band, which is
Radiohead.
Say hi to everybody.
Hello. It's an honor to be here. And when he asked me to talk about two of my favorite things, I was very excited. So I'm going to enjoy today's conversation and hopefully not nerd out too much.
It's okay if you do. We're also going to discuss the movie There Will Be Blood. Holy shit. I watched that movie this week. I had to break it up over 2 nights because it's a 2.5-hour movie, but we'll get into that later.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And there is a tie-in, which we'll talk about when we get to the movie. So years ago, I asked Ian, who is the best band in the world? And surprisingly, he told me the Beatles. I asked his brother Luke the same thing and got the same answer. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I think we had a recent conversation where you said you really wanted to say Radiohead, right?
Yeah, I was taking your question too literally because when you asked me what I think the best band is, I think going off of the history, I think the Beatles is a better band. But as far as my personal favorite, Radiohead was at the time, that must have been 13 years ago or something, and still is my favorite band.
Awesome. And let's see. I've got a note here about you meeting Isaac Brock. Now, he's the founder of who?
Modest Mouse.
Modest Mouse.
Yeah.
And you met him at a concert?
I met him at a Publix outside of a music festival. I was behind him in line, and I recognized the lisp. He sings and he talks with a lisp.
Oh.
And I heard the lisp, and I did a whiplash, and there he was. And I was very awkward because it was probably 12 years ago. I'm still awkward, but I said something along the lines of "Good luck tonight," as if he needed luck at his own. He was headlining a festival, but so that was pretty awesome.
That's great. What a lucky day for you.
Yeah, it was very lucky.
Yeah, that's another one of our favorite bands, right?
Yep.
Modest Mouse. You and I were recently in Estes Park. About a month ago, we went and had lunch. You went and did some hiking, and we went into town and did some lunch. And we were coming back, and in your car, you were playing, I guess, a playlist. And to me, it was very eclectic. It was kind of like world music or something. So you have a very broad taste in music as well.
I think so. I think, growing up, I listened to classic rock, 96.1 The Rocket. Shout out to Gulf Coast. And then as I got a little bit older, I listened to more kind of indie and alternative rock. And then sort of in late high school and college, a lot of rap music, electronic music. So a little bit of everything. Yeah. I think it tends to be true. What you love in high school, just for better or worse, you just can't get rid of it. So, the things I loved in high school still are my favorite things that I listen to.
That's great. You don't meet many people with such a broad taste in music, eclectic taste. It's great. Okay, so who is Radiohead? Can you name the members without looking?
Yeah. We got Tom York. We got Johnny Greenwood. We got Phil Selway. We got Colin Greenwood and Ed O'Brien. Those are the 5 members of Radiohead.
Okay.
And they haven't broken up as far as I know. They just aren't making a lot of music these days.
When was the last time they put an album out?
2016 was a Moon-Shaped Pool. And then they've done some kind of re-recordings since then. But
I think we're going to have to move inside. We'll be right back. Okay, so we're away from the thunder and the rain now. It's fun while it lasted. What's your favorite album by them?
you know, Radiohead has a lot of really great, consistent albums. That's one of the reasons why they're such a great band for the decades that they made music. For me, for the longest time, it's always been In Rainbows, which came out in 2007.
Okay.
Recently, I've been kind of obsessed with Kid A again. So it kind of changes, but those two interchangeably are 2 of my favorites.
Well, I'll confess, I'm not a big Radiohead fan like you are. But the album Kid A blows my mind.
Which is so cool to me.
Yeah.
Because it's, to think of knowing that album in isolation and not knowing the rest of the discography is a cool glimpse into how someone can appreciate Radiohead that I don't have. So I'm excited to hear about it.
Yeah. Now, I saw that you shared with me a clip of them playing the song, the national anthem, on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, man.
Holy cow, right?
One of the best SNL performances. If you go home, Google SNL Radiohead 2000, and it's great.
Yeah.
They play that in Idiotech from Kid A.
Okay.
It's great.
Kid A, great album. So how did they get their name?
I think it was the name of a Talking Heads song or a reference to a Talking Heads song.
Yeah.
I think they all met in school in England when they were, in college. From what I remember, Johnny Greenwood, who's the younger brother of Colin Greenwood, wasn't originally in the band, but kind of begged to be in a sort of younger brother way, and ended up being one of the most, some can argue he's the most important member of the band, depending on which album you're talking about. So I always think that's a funny story that sometimes he wasn't in. He's the most musically talented of the group. He does a lot of composing and writes music, and he adds a lot of interesting stuff there.
Well, I'll go ahead and spill the beans. He was involved in the movie There Will Be Blood. What did he do?
He did the soundtrack, the score for the movie.
Awesome.
And it's super, we'll talk about it a little bit, but it's super eerie, lots of strings and percussion, and kind of adds to the discordance of the movie.
When I watched it this week, I paid more attention to the score, and it was really amazing.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
It's very unsettling, but also beautiful. It's
Yep. And you saw Radiohead live?
Yes, in 2012, a long time ago, I saw them live. I think they were, at that time, it was a great concert, don't get me wrong, but I still think it was a little bit past their prime of live music. I think if you saw them anywhere from, 97 to 2007, you could consider yourself a very lucky person.
Wow.
But it was still an awesome concert just because you love all the music and,
Where did you see them?
It was in Atlanta.
Okay.
Yep.
So, their name came from a Talking Heads song titled Radiohead, but it's 2 words.
Oh,
the album.
Yeah.
Whereas the band, they've merged the 2 words together.
Because they're cool. They can't copy it exactly.
Yeah.
That's lame.
Copyright and all that shit, probably. So, their first album was titled Pablo Honey.
Yes.
And they had a few hits off that.
They had one hit for sure. Creep. It's a song everyone knows, which, funny enough, blew up in Israel before it blew up in America. That album, I gotta be honest, as I love Radiohead to death. I don't know if I've ever listened to that whole album front to back.
Really?
It's just it kind of gets a bad rap as not being, they definitely started off trying to sound like other people, trying to sound like another band.
Yeah.
A lot of,
They hadn't found their feet yet.
no, a lot of kind of loud guitar music, thrashing around. It's not my favorite album,
Okay.
but it's got some good songs. Creep, You is a good song from that album.
High and Dry?
High and Dry is from their second album.
Oh, is it?
It's
Okay.
from the Bends,
The Bends, that's right.
which is a great album.
But they really came into prominence with their third release. Okay, Computer.
Yes.
And I'm surprised that's not your favorite.
Something about, I've gone through phases of loving that album a lot. It's guitar focused. It's got incredible vocals. It's very thematic of an album. It tells a story about, kind of what life might be like in the 21st century with technology and, songs like No Surprises and just this idea of living in a white suburban neighborhood and being very safe and comfortable in that. But I think as time goes on, I think I've just heard the songs too many times and they don't do it for me like they once did.
They don't have legs for you.
No.
They didn't last like
No.
Kid A did.
Yes,
Okay.
and that's sort of unfair because I've listened to it a lot. The first 100 times I listened to it, it did really good, but then it's just something about the guitar focused kind of arena stadium rock sound to it kind of lost me a little bit. But it's a great album.
I got to say, I've tried listening to it. I don't know. I keep trying, but I'll get there one day maybe. So back to the song Creep. It was blacklisted by BBC Radio
That is funny. I did not know
for
that.
being too depressing.
Huh.
Yeah. And I mean, I think they had a radio edit of that song.
Really?
Because he says fucking in the song.
Yeah. But no on BBC Radio apparently.
Yeah.
I love that song. I think it's such a fun insight into early Radiohead because it follows this pattern that almost every Radiohead song has, where, they don't make verse, chorus, verse songs and then it's over. They're very dynamic in their songwriting. It's ups and downs. And, that one's got that big crescendo at the end.
Yeah.
Not every Radiohead song does that, but a lot of them do. They kind of didn't lose the formula as they went on in their career, and they always try to do interesting things in their songwriting.
Very cool, very creative people.
Yeah,
and Tom York, be honest again, he uses a lot of falsetto.
Yes,
and that gets old with me. I think you like it though, right?
I do, and I also love when he's got, I think, I couldn't name off the top of my head, but 3 or 4 songs where he doesn't use falsetto.
Yeah.
Wolf at the Door on Hail to the Thief is one song, and I just think they're the coolest songs because he just never does it. It's like, I don't know if he's not comfortable in that range, but he's got a very unique voice. He loves the falsetto, and I think he's got a great voice, but he definitely feels comfortable higher up.
Like all the other artists I've discussed, there were a lot of drug issues. Did Tom York or any of the other guys have any drug issues?
Not that I know of. No, I think there was just a lot of periods in the time of them writing albums, like especially around Kid A, where they really weren't getting along and they weren't creatively seeing the same picture.
Yeah.
If we just want to talk a second about my favorite thing ever, which is the transition from OK Computer to Kid A, because I think there is a documentary about it, but they found so much commercial success with this OK Computer album, selling out stadiums worldwide of this guitar rock sound. And they were so sick of it. They were so burned out of touring and playing this kind of music that mostly Tom York, but the band said, we're just doing something different. And they tried to learn how to play electronic music. They tried to use synthesizers and weird instruments that I don't remember the name of on songs like Idiotech and the national anthem, but it's such a fun thing to me that you can go from great commercial success and saying, I'm not going to repeat that at all. I'm going to do it completely different, come out with a polarizing album that people love or they hate, and still find great success in it. I mean, it's a really awesome transition.
Yeah, I remember when Kid A came out, and I think it was, everybody was just shocked. What happened to OK Computer, Radiohead? Well, they don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
They blew that up. Right?
It's I imagine it's such a cool thing to be a part of. I was in 5th grade, so I don't remember it, but I'm sure it's awesome.
The thing I love about National Anthem is, it just becomes a cacophony of sound, and it just blows, it blares almost.
Yeah.
They got horns and everything in there.
And that's the 3rd song on Kid A, and it's it's a very unique one that I'm sure there are other songs that like it out there. I just haven't heard them.
Yeah.
It's a unique one.
It's like they were experimenting with everything they could find to experiment to make that song.
And you can kind of tell, like, the electronic music on that album is not very, like, polished or refined. Some of it's very, like, you can tell that they were just making it up as they go.
Yeah.
Mixomatosis.
And those are all on the playlist now, as well as the National Anthem, because I just had to throw that one on there.
Yeah.
So I think you guys are going to like that a lot. Anything else you want to say about Radiohead?
Oh, man. There's about 100 things, but let me see if I can.
Oh, here's something.
Yes.
The album Pablo Honey.
Uh-huh.
Do you know where they got the title?
No.
It's from a Jerky Boys. Oh my gosh. Let me see if I can dig this up real quick.
You're going to have to enlighten me on who the Jerky Boys are.
Let's see if I can find it real quick, because I would love to play that.
Yeah, there it is.
Jerky Boys.
We don't have a person to pull it up like Joe Rogan does. So
No, you're right.
That's going to come with more. If you rate this podcast 5 stars, we'll get a guy to play the songs for us.
Let's see if this will go.
Hello? Hello, honey? Yeah? Honey, come down to Florida. Come to Florida, honey. We miss you. Pablo, honey?
Prank calls.
Yeah.
Washing your ass. Pablo? Talk to me, honey.
That's so random.
Pablo? Please come to Florida.
Who the hell is it?
Nice to meet you.
That's true.
Pablo? You. Pablo?
Pretty cool.
Which has absolutely nothing to do with the album at all, but it's such a funny.
No. I appreciate their humor.
Yeah.
And
the guitar part is a difficult thing to do.
definitely have to have a sense of humor. That album was popular in the 90s, the Jerky Boys with the prank calls.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the band listened to that a lot, Well, let's go ahead and start talking about the movie. Oh, first, a word from our sponsor.
Hi there. Are you suffering from tinnitus cruris, otherwise known as jock itch? Do you have a scratchy scrotum or an itchy coochie? Or maybe your butt crack is burning a hole in your undies? If so, join the club of about 200,000 people. I know it feels real good to scratch it, but it makes it worse, right? Makes it spread more too. My name is Dr. Scarlett Cameltoe, and I have good news for you. I have created a new product that has been outselling all the other itchy crotch medications. It's called Groin Goop and is guaranteed to work in less than 24 hours. I know, right? It's on shelves everywhere, so go out and get yourself some relief.
And we're back. Okay, so now you know why we have selected the movie There Will Be Blood. God, what a movie. I mean, Daniel Day-Lewis, as usual, he knocked that character out of the park.
It is, yeah. It's one of my favorite acting performances.
Yeah.
He is so commanding. He is so scary. He is so, I mean, all the adjectives you can use, because he's a tall guy.
Psychopathic.
Yeah.
In this movie, anyway.
And he's sort of a tall, powerful looking guy at baseline, and he carries that well. But yeah, one of the great performances of my generation, I think.
Yeah, and let's see, he's won 3 Academy Awards. One for There Will Be Blood, also for My Left Foot. Have you ever seen that?
I have. That's another great movie.
And then he won it for Lincoln, which I haven't seen.
I think I got about halfway. It's another really long movie.
Is
I
it?
got about halfway through that one.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the record for the most Oscars won by an actor.
Is it
3.
really for a male actor?
Yeah, for best male performance.
Wow. Well, and deservedly so. He's truly scary in this movie. There Will Be Blood. He's psychopathic. So it starts in the 1890s, and he's a miner, and he finds silver, and he stakes a claim to this mine, and basically he made enough money to move into the oil business in the early 1900s. So that's what he started doing.
And to steal, this is from Quentin Tarantino, but he talks about this movie, and he said, there's no dialogue for the first 14 minutes of the movie. It's all just you're watching him. And the character study you see of him, where he falls and he breaks his leg and he climbs out of the mine, he drags himself to the refinery where they look at his sample. Just like the amount that you learn about the psychopathy and the determinedness of Daniel Plainview, or Henry Plainview, I think is his name.
What is it? Daniel Plainview.
Daniel Plainview.
Yep.
Is, you learn everything you need to know about him. I mean, this man is obsessed. He stops at nothing, and he is absolutely determined to make money.
And later on in the movie, he says things like, I don't want anybody other than me to succeed. Yeah, I mean, that's
it's something in him. It's something
it is
innate in him that he cannot help.
Yep. Yeah. So on their first oil rig, there's one of his workers has like a 6-month-old baby. HW is the baby's name. And this worker gets killed. So Daniel Plainview, also Daniel Day-Lewis, basically adopts the kid and takes him in as his own, and kind of uses him when he goes to get other leases for oil property. He brings the kid with him who's like 8 years old at this time. And everybody says, oh, it's family man. And he plays into that.
He knows that portraying himself as a family man will help him get these leases to build oil wells. And it's sort of insane to think about the future planning that he would have to do to take that 6-month-old baby and say, hey, in 8 years from now, when I can take this kid around and show people that I'm a family man, it's really going to help me. And he's going to have to take care of that baby like it's an investment almost. Yeah. It is, it's wild.
It's funny, in one of the first scenes with him and the baby after the man gets killed, I think he put some gin or something in the milk, right into the bottle. And I think he kind of doped the kid up a lot. It doesn't really show that in the movie, except near the end.
Absolutely. It's one of the sort of dichotomies of him. There's a lot of scenes where he's genuinely worried and cares about HW, and then there's some scenes where you can tell that he is not so concerned, wants to send him away, wants him to be quiet and just be a pawn for him.
That's another great scene where he's making money now, and he's got leases, and he's got this new rig, and all of a sudden they hit a gas pocket, and it erupts, and it starts burning. But the kid HW was laying on the roof right there on the structure of the well, and it deafened him permanently. And yeah, that's a whole nother plot arc in the movie, I guess, is HW getting deafened. And
just
it's so sad because he gets on a train with HW, right? They're going to go to San Francisco to put him in a school for the deaf. And he leans over and he says to HW, "I'll be right back. I got to go talk to the conductor."
Yep.
And he leaves. And he doesn't come back.
And this is like something that I do to trick my dog so he doesn't bark at me when I'm leaving. You know what I mean? This is like tricks you play on. You don't play on 9-year-old kids who just got deafened. It's really sad. And just to go back to the scene of the oral derrick exploding, what a beautiful scene that is. I mean, you got the soundtrack going in the background, the drums are beating. I mean, it's dark. You see the shadowy figures of everyone running around trying to fix it. And it's just this plume of, I don't know how they did that. I'm sure it was expensive, but it looks really cool.
Yeah, I mean, this flame burned through the night.
Yeah.
And the next day they put it out with dynamite. Fight fire with fire. Right? So they did get it stopped. But him abandoning HW becomes another factor in the movie later on. And one character we haven't talked about is Eli Sunday, played by Paul Dano. Holy shit.
I know.
I mean, I've seen him in several movies, and he's always top notch.
He's a really, really great actor, and he fits the role well. He's a little bit squirmy, which you need Eli Sunday to be, because he's a bit of a squirmy preacher / businessman. You know, that's what I love about this movie is it's a battle of two men who are equally unlikable in different ways. They're both greedy, and they're just on this kind of collision course for who can win, whatever that means to them. Who can win at the end?
Beat the other one.
It's a competition, and they just they both play the flaws in their characters so well.
Yeah, they do. Very well written movie. Very well acted. It's got everything. And my listeners, if you haven't seen this movie, you really should. It may take you a couple of sessions because it is a long movie, but very enjoyable. You'll end up hating almost every character.
And that's one of the things I loved about it. I'm like, there's no redemption arc. There's no feeling of things are going to get brighter at the end. It's two miserable characters that sort of are a representation of this early American dream of like, I'm going to make it rich. I'm going to make it big. What does that mean?
Yeah.
And they just kind of collide. And at the end, I don't want to spoil the ending, but it is, it's cathartic.
The end was pretty gruesome.
The end is iconic. It's iconic.
So Eli, played by Paul Dano, he is a pastor of a church, got his own Church of the Third Reckoning, Revolution, something. I can't remember exactly, but so Daniel Plainview, the oil man, he's rich now because he leased up all the land in the area they were in called Little Boston. It's in California. But there was one holdout, one man, William Bandy, that would not lease land to him. Eventually, Bandy comes to him and says, "I'll let you put a pipe through my land if you get baptized in our church, in Eli's church." And Daniel really tries. Just look. Let me just give you $5,000. Let me give you $10,000, and the old man is just steadfast. He's no.
He's weaseled his way out of every situation.
Yep.
To get here, and so he's going to try it again. It doesn't work.
Didn't work. So he goes in the church to get baptized, and Eli Sunday, Paul Dano, tells him to get on his knees, starts slapping the shit out of him, making him confess that he abandoned his son, and that is just a super sinner. And he does all this. He follows the commands of the preacher. He confesses, I abandoned my son. I'm a big sinner. I need redemption. So, I mean, Paul Dano he was enjoying that moment.
Yeah, it's
just slapping the shit out of him and screaming at him.
And it's so true to Daniel Plainview's character, because what he's doing again is more future planning, where he says, you can get this laugh now, but I'm going to get the pipe, and in the end, I'm going to get the last laugh.
Yeah.
Enjoy it while you can.
Yeah.
And then what happens in the end? Who gets the last laugh?
Should we spoil it for him?
I'll leave it up to you. It's your podcast, but I think everyone should watch it.
I agree. I agree.
And I'll just say this about the ending: it is it's been quoted multiple times, multiple parts of it. It is absolutely wild and cathartic and
brutal,
dark. Yeah.
Dark and brutal.
Yeah.
So it's a final clash between two main characters, basically. So if that doesn't get you interested in watching this movie, then nothing's going to. I had another thought. So this stranger shows up at Daniel's house. And Daniel's like, who are you? He says, I'm Henry. I'm your brother. And he's got all, he talks about all this evidence and everything. Well, it turns out he's not. He's a con man. He came there because he had been friends with Daniel's brother. And Daniel's brother, the real Henry, died of tuberculosis. So this guy picks up his diary and he studies up on him. And he comes to see Daniel to get a job.
He messed with the wrong guy.
One day I guess they took a day off. They were out of the ocean swimming. And Daniel says to the fake Henry some sort of inside family joke. And Henry doesn't respond as he should have. So at this point, Daniel's like, oh, fuck. This is not my real brother. So later night in the campground, he holds Henry down and says, tell me who you are. And he does. And Henry tells him flat out who he was. He was friends with his brother. Brother died, so he came in his place. But Daniel, Plainview, the oil man, shoots him right in the head 2 times. And then he buries him.
Didn't have a thought second.
No, not a second thought about it. And the thing is the holdout guy, William Bandy, he wakes. So Daniel Plainview gets drunk as a skunk that night and passes out, right? And he's asleep when it's daylight. William Bandy comes, and that's when he talks to him about putting the pipe through his property and having to get baptized. But what he had on him at that time was he had gotten Daniel's gun away from him while he was sleeping. And he knew that he had killed Henry and buried him, fake Henry. And he held that over his head.
Yep.
So that was like the final straw where he was going to have to get baptized.
Yep. And it's, if someone's to be critical of this movie, there's not a lot to complain about. But I think that whole arc of Daniel and his brother Henry, it's a little long. You may be able to do without it if you're telling the story of Daniel.
Yeah.
We already see a little bit of how sick he is in a lot of different ways. I think it's fine. I like it, but I've heard people complain about, if you're going to make an almost 3-hour movie, you need to make sure that all of it is vital.
Well, I think the brother part is vital because that's what the holdout guy, Bandy,
Yeah, that wouldn't
used
work
it.
without him.
Yeah, without the death of the fake Henry,
Yeah.
he would have never agreed to be baptized.
And it's cool to watch Henry try his best.
Try to talk him out of killing him.
Sweet. And you believe it. As a viewer, you believe it until you don't believe it, you know.
First, you're thinking, okay, he's not going to kill him.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, he's holding his head down with a gun, too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, another ruthless part is near the end of the movie. H.W., the son, has come back. You know, he came back like a year later after he'd been abandoned.
Mm-hmm.
Came back as a boy, but now he's grown and married, and he goes to his father's house, Daniel Plainview, and he says, my wife and I are going to move to Mexico, and I no longer want to be your partner. I want to break from you and start my own oil business in Mexico.
Yep.
You remember that scene?
Oh, yes, I do.
I mean,
and the first time I watched it, I did not understand that HW was adopted, basically. I kind of wasn't paying attention during the first 15 minutes. So the first time I watched it, that was a revelation to me that he wasn't actually his son.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, oh my gosh. But yeah, it just goes to show the sort of brutality.
He was so cruel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in one of the lines he said to HW was, "Well, you'll be one of my competitors.
Mm-hmm.
I can't have that."
And he just starts yelling, "Bastard in a basket."
Yeah. Bastard in a basket. He says, "You know, you're not my son."
Yeah.
And he's just damn so brutal. Lisa could barely stand watching that scene. But when
go ahead.
No, you go.
I was going to say, it goes back to he doesn't want to see anyone else succeed.
No.
Nobody. Not even his, adopted son. You are now competition, and I'm going to say things to hurt you.
Yep. And he berates him badly. But when HW, he takes all that in, and then he's leaving, and he says something like, "I'm very happy I'm not in your bloodline," or something like that.
Which is an awesome moment for him.
It is, yeah.
But even as hard as it is to watch.
Well, I've written a lot of details about the movie, but I really think we've covered it pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a favorite scene, a favorite moment?
There's so many to choose from. When he talks to the oil companies, he's so very rude to them.
Yeah.
They're trying to buy him out.
Yeah.
Offered him $1 million, and he basically spit in their face.
Yeah.
I guess my favorite scene might be when HW comes back after a year in deaf school, and Daniel sees him coming from afar, and he basically runs to him, right? And he picks him up, and he's carrying him. He says, "Are you hungry? Let's go get something to eat." And he puts him down, and HW slaps his face and starts hitting him. And then he just grabs him so he can't hit him anymore.
Yeah.
And then everything seemed fine.
Yeah.
That was a striking moment.
It is. Yeah, absolutely.
What about you? Favorite scene?
Favorite scene? I think I'm not going to try to be different. I'm going to say, the last 20, 15 minutes of the movie, the whole thing, ever since HW shows up to his house and we see what Daniel has become since accruing his fortune, the whole thing is just, the final scene between Daniel and Eli is just beautiful.
I agree.
Yeah.
And at this point in time, Daniel's basically a full-time alcoholic.
Oh, yeah.
Drunk constantly in his new mansion.
It's sort of a story as old as time that's been told in a million different ways, but it's about the entrepreneur that fights at nothing to accrue wealth, and then once he gets it, he realizes that he's empty.
He's all alone.
Yeah.
Empty. Yeah.
He has been working so hard towards a goal that does nothing for him. And now once he got it, he doesn't know what to do. So he drinks himself and tries to spite anyone who meant anything to him.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. The last 20 minutes of that movie with HW at the house, and then when Eli comes back to the house,
He's doing shooting practice down his hallway. I mean, he's made the place a shithole. It's just like, it's awesome.
He set up a target and he's sitting there with a rifle just shooting, and right there in the hallway of the house.
Because the thing about Daniel is, as much as you hate him, you kind of like to watch him do the things he does. Like when he's with the oilmen being petty, or when he's, one-upping Eli, you're kind of like, you're not on his team, but you're just, it's incredible to watch what he does,
Yeah. So this movie is loosely based on the novel Oil by Sinclair. What's his name?
Upton Sinclair.
Upton Sinclair. Yep. I have no knowledge. I read that it's loosely based on it, but I also read that it follows it pretty well.
Yeah, from what I understand, it's like a satirical novel written in the early 1900s about oilmen of the time. And I'm sure that was probably more funny, being a satirical novel. Maybe it wasn't. I haven't read it. This movie is not funny, really, at all. Sometimes I find myself laughing at just how absurd some of the scenes are, just to break the uncomfortableness. But
You're right. There's not a comic moment
no
in this
comic
movie
at all.
I mean, it's just one boom, boom, boom after another.
And your jaw's on the floor. It's happening.
And movie's over. You're ready for a nap. I mean, wear your ass out.
I think one last thing I'll say about the movie from watching it multiple times is I've never appreciated how competent Daniel is as an oilman and how self-made and good he is at what he does. I mean, he went into Little Boston and created basically an entire city.
He did.
By himself.
He did.
And so for all the horrible things that he did, he also was incredibly competent at what he was doing.
I mean, basically, he did it all himself. Everything.
Because he didn't want to deal with the oil. He didn't want to deal with the trains. He didn't want to deal with the oil companies. He hated all of them because he doesn't want anyone else to succeed.
Yep.
So he was forced to do it all himself. And it's really amazing.
You're right. Hey, as an oil man, the character was very competent. And the character was that way because it was Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to have to watch Lincoln now.
Yeah, me too.
And, I'll probably have to watch My Left Foot again.
Okay.
That was incredible. And that's another thing about Daniel Day-Lewis. He gets in character and stays there.
Yes.
Like in My Left Foot, where he's a cripple, can't walk.
Yeah.
Actually, in between the scenes, he would stay in character and have people move him around to where he needed to be.
And I understand this movie was pretty much the same way. I don't think he ever broke character as Daniel Plainview for the filming.
Probably not.
Which made, I'm sure, everyone a little bit uncomfortable. But
So you guys out there, if you ever want to make a great movie, get Daniel Day-Lewis and get a good writer.
I think he's retired now. I don't know if he's still doing it, but
Probably.
maybe if you get the right script, you might be able to get him out.
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
I think that's it. I would encourage all the listeners to, one, rate the podcast, be honest, 5 stars, and then I think there's an option to follow it and
subscribe,
and share it with a friend if you think that they might be interested in Radiohead or good movies.
Yeah. It's been a pleasure.
Likewise.
It's been fun.
We could have done this for another 2 hours, I think.
I agree. This is going to be another long podcast. It's going to be about an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes. That's great.
Yep.
And I hope all of you enjoy it. Thanks again to Ian for being my special guest today. I love Ian.
I love you too. Thank you for having me on, and it's been a blast.
I agree. All right, guys. Be back with more in a minute. Okay. Let's talk about word of the day. Well, word of the week. That's my cadence. So the word today is meldrop. MELDROP. And it's a drop of music a drop of mucus hanging from the tip of your nose. The nose and sinus create about a quart of mucus every day. Yeah. This is actually a good thing. Mucus prevents bacteria, germs, dirt, and other shit from getting into your lungs through your nose. So if you have a cold or allergies, your nose runs overtime because your body is working harder to create more snot to fight it off. By the way, without mucus, we wouldn't have boogers, and we'd have one less pastime. All right, joke of the week. What do you call a cow with no legs? Ground beef. What do you call a cow with 2 legs? Lean beef, or your mom. Okay, question of the week, and first we'll discuss the question from last week. What is the deadliest animal worldwide? Believe it or not, it's mosquitoes. Yeah, they contribute 1 million deaths per year to mosquitoes. Second deadliest animal is human beings, homicide. Then we have snakes and dogs and freshwater snails, assassin bugs, tsetse flies, scorpions, tapeworms, crocodiles, elephants, hippopotamuses, hippopotami, the lion, and the deer. Now, believe it or not, when it comes to sharks, 4 deaths annually worldwide. New question of the week. Since we talked about oil man, what is the origin of oil? Petroleum. Is it really dead dinosaurs? Maybe, maybe not. We'll discuss that next time. Here's a thought for the week. If you are waiting for the waiter to bring your food, you are the waiter. Here's another thought. Isn't it odd that your nose runs and your feet smell? Don't forget about the Barrelful of Darrell Spotify and Apple Music playlist. I will drop some really good Radiohead songs on it for this episode. And it's well over 100 songs by now. It's about 110, something like that. So you may contact me by clicking on the send me a text button in the episodes or directly at bfodpodcast@gmail.com. Send me a note. And don't forget that the episodes have an option to support the show. A little bit of money once a month. So $3, $5, $8, or $10. So I could buy anything from a bag of chips to a few more edibles each month. Thank you for listening. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I did. I'll talk to you next time. Bye for now.